I'm just basically telling you guys happy Thursday, that I'm glad you all made it this morning. All right. Let's go ahead and start to get ourselves warmed up. Let's come down into child's pose. So make your way down onto your hands and knees. And find a sense of ease right here, right now. And if that means bringing your arms behind you for a couple minutes, kind of just feeling yourself out in a little ball, then that's great. Start where you need to be right now. And just for the rest of this child's pose, try to wipe the slate clean. Assume that you know nothing about yourself. And then just let this next hour be an hour of rediscovering. Take 3 more breaths, exactly where you are. Good, now start to expand out into the space. Where can you find a little more room? Maybe it's walking your fingers forward. Maybe you reach them out to the sides a little bit for a V. Yeah, just to the corners of your mat. Where do you need to go? Good, now as you breathe in, walk your fingers forward and then press your hips back onto your heels. Notice the subtle stretching here of your vertebrae, your back lengthening. Good, and then come into tabletop. We're gonna take a little extra care this morning because the weather is a bit cooler. Maybe we need some time to warm up, a little extra time. So just move slowly right now. Paying special attention to every joint in the body, the head and neck. Fingers, toes, ankles, and wrists. Move them all. I was taking a walk the other day and I was outside and I noticed that like all of my fingers got really swollen. And the friend that I was walking with was like, oh, it's because of the humidity. But it's interesting like what different circumstances do to our bodies. Might be stress or a drop in temperature, certain foods. And just notice that cause and effect right now of your movement. Take some cat-cows. So lower your belly down towards the ground. Exhale and press back up as your head drops, your belly lifts, your back lifts. Inhale, go back into cow. Nice bend in the elbows. Lower your chest, draw your shoulders back. And then exhale, come back up. Let's do this a couple more times. Just moving with your breath to your tempo, whatever that is. Good, come to a flat back. And then move into plank. Straight into plank. Yeah, let's do our spinal extensions in plank pose for a second. So take your right arm out in front of you, just reaching for the front of the room. We're gonna get warmed up a little here. Okay, now see if you can counterbalance by taking your left leg off the ground. Breathe in, breathe out, bring your elbow slowly to your knee. If you fall, just come back and take it back out. Drop the foot, drop the hand, restack the shoulders, take your left arm out in front. Press down into all the knuckles in your right palm, lift the right leg up. Take a breath in, bring your elbow to your knee. Take it back out. Plank pose. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath, send your right leg up into the air. Plank pose. Keep your right leg lifted. Good. Step your right foot to your right hand, low lunge. 2 breaths. We're going to open this one up slowly. Good. Send it back. Take it up. 3-legged downward facing dog. So the right leg lifts. Take a breath in. Come to plank. Yep. Back into plank pose. Good. Take your right foot to your right hand. Low lunge. Don't let that self-doubt creep in. Yeah, I know you guys know what you're hearing. Don't second guess. Just go straight into it. Take a breath in. Send your right leg back. 3-legged downward facing dog. Good. One more time. This time, bend your knee. Open up your hip. I know we all love that. This becomes so much a part of the Baptiste practice. So just get even deeper here. Open up your chest. Move your shoulder back. Take a peek underneath that right armpit. And then re-square your hips. Lift your right leg back up into the air as high as you can. Good. High plank. Low lunge. Right foot, right hand. Good. 3 breaths. Hopefully everyone's starting to get a little warm, especially those of you guys who are outside. Build a little heat. Draw your shoulders back onto your spine right now. Press your chest forward. Step back to plank. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up into the air. And come back into plank. Step your left foot to your left hand. 2 breaths. And for right now, try to keep that back knee lifted up off the ground. That hip square to the earth. Maybe pressing your left knee out to the side with that spare elbow, that left elbow there. 3-legged down dog. Send your left leg back up. Take it up high. Take a breath. Come into plank. Step your left foot to your left hand. Low lunge. Round 2. Take a big breath in. Send your left leg back. 3-legged down dog. This time, bend your knee. Open up your hip. Again, pressing through that heel. Move your left heel over as far as you can. Open up your thoracic spine. Take a breath. Square your hips. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot to your left hand. Hunker down this time. Even come onto your elbows if that's in your practice. It's going to help us break up all that tension from sitting. Have you been sitting a lot lately? This is your antidote. High plank. And step your right foot to your right hand and your left foot to your left hand. Let's go to Ragdoll. And so you're already set up. Keep your feet that hip width distance apart. And then hinge at your waist. Grab your elbows. Maybe gently rest your hands on the back of your neck. I like this one too. Just because it reminds us that we don't need to be looking forward. We don't need to be looking back. We can be looking right where we are right now. And if you are looking back, that's because your eyes are open. So feel free to close those right now. And do what needs to be done here. Take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose. Release those. Maybe out through the mouth. Take a gentle sway from side to side. Then step your feet together. Let's rise up high to Tadasana. So find your mountain pose. Extend your reach, almost like you're grasping for something up there. Fill your lungs up with air. Bring your hands together at heart center. Start class with 1 Om. Let's take a big shoulder roll. Everyone roll your shoulders back, press your chest and your hands forward. And then expand back up, high mountain pose. Go for a back bend this time. Reach your fingertips to the back of the room. Expand from the inside out right here. And then forward fold. Nice and slow. Take your time to get down to the bottom of your mat. Take a big inhale, halfway rise up. Exhale, step back to your plank pose. Plank is your friend today, guys. Make this a good one. Just bring your shoulders right over your wrists. You'll know when you're stacked. If you're not sure, you won't feel a lot of pressure on your shoulders. If you're stacked, you'll feel some activity going on in your shoulders. They'll start talking to you a little bit. Good. Take a breath in. Start to bend your elbows. Low plank. Keep those shoulders and elbows tight in line with the body. Take an inhale, upward facing dog. Press your chest through your arms to close the space. If up dog ever gives you any trouble, it's usually because your waist is too far back and you're bending your back the wrong way. Scoot that up a little bit if you're experiencing any discomfort, and then look over your right shoulder. Look over your left shoulder. Come back to center, downward facing dog, press it back. Look between your hands, step there. At halfway lift, fold, mountain pose, rise all the way up, get long. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back to your plank. Now let's add a step. Bring your right knee to your right elbow. Take it back. Bring your left knee to your left elbow. Take it back, low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, move to the front of your mat. Half lift, fold, Tadasana. Last time, full breath in, full reach up, full exhale down, fold to the ground. Inhale, half lift, exhale, high to low, or Chaturanga. Big breath into up dog, big exhale into downward facing dog. Good, let's finish this round off with another inhale. Everybody breathe in. Everybody exhale for the dump, let it go. Bend your knees, hop or step forward. Halfway lift, fold, chair pose. Sink the weight into your heels, move the weight back. And make sure that you can see your big toes over your bent knees. If not, spread your toes out, lift them up, base yourself a little bit stronger, and then shift back. Lift your biceps up by your ears. Let's take a big open twist to the right, just to open up our backs. I'm actually twisting to the left, but I want you guys to twist to the right first. Good, take a breath in, lift the left arm up, and then just open the right arm to the right side, other side, or left arm to the left side. Take a breath, and swing that arm back up, chair pose, fold forward, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, Chaturanga. Good, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Finish strong in that down dog. Take your right leg up into the air. Step it forward, warrior one. Rise up, take a big breath in. Exhale, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take your left leg up into the air. Warrior one. Take a breath as you rise. And then everybody square your hips forward. Good cue for that, good little helper, is to squeeze your glutes and then activate your inner thighs. Draw everything in. And that'll help square your hips right there. Take another breath. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And bend your knees, hop or step forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Chair pose. Rise up into your chair. 3 solid breaths right in this space. Notice what's coming up right now. Notice if this is one of those poses that just leaves you like feeling dramatic. This is invoking all the lower muscle, the whole leg group. It's the largest muscle group in the body. It's a lot of work to stay here. Take another breath. Last breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift to Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And lift your right leg into the air, warrior 1. This time, bend your elbows. Go back for cactus arms. Take a back bend. And Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg goes up. Warrior 1. Deep inhale, square your hips, draw your biceps up by your ears, and then bend your elbows. Go back for a back bend. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And one more time, look between your hands, jump or step there. Halfway lift, fold, chair pose, 2 inhales. Good, sit down a little bit lower, just one more breath, breathe. And fold forward, halfway rise, Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, good. Rise up into warrior 1, right side. Let's go back for that back bend again. And for those of you guys this doesn't feel good for, Amanda is just doing this with a bind. She's just still opening up her chest and drawing her shoulders back just in a different way. Feel free to do this if that feels better. And take a breath in, hit the floor, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left side, warrior 1. Keep up with your breath. Big inhale as you rise in, as you rise up. And go back some way, somehow. Now you can grab the hands again, create a bind, look back with the head. Maybe you expand your chest somehow. And then take your Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now breathe a couple of solid breaths in right here. Wherever it is that you need to be in this moment, go to that place. If that's a child's pose, this is a personal invitation. Go there. And just feel the quiet in yourself. Or notice if the thoughts are rushing in. That's okay too. Take your right leg up into the air. Bend your knee, open up your right hip. Now right here, try to find some form of expansion. You can look underneath the right armpit. You can press the right heel over a little bit harder. You can flip your dog. All those are great expressions. Just figure out which one is going to fit your body right now in this moment. If your low back is talking to you right now, don't press your hips up as high. If you need a little more in the shoulder, go into wheel. Press your chest forward. Take a breath in and then lift up a little bit higher. One more inhale. And exhale, high plank. Let's go into fallen triangle. So bring your right foot up by your left hand. Doesn't have to be up by your hand. It could be anywhere on this line. Just wherever it rests is great. So you can stay here in your side plank or your plank, or you can come into fallen triangle with the left arm up. We're just gonna press the hips up to the sky. So we're grounding down through the knife edge of our feet, pressing down through the right hand. Lift your bottom hip up as high as you can. Reach up towards the sky like you're trying to get weightless. And then either put your left hand down on the ground or see if you can do a little balancing act here. We're gonna bring our right knee up to the right hand. See if you can step the right foot to the right hand for low lunge. And then make sure you've got your feet exactly where you want them. I landed off the mat, so I'm gonna scoot back over. Make sure you've got your right foot up in the upper right corner and your left foot somewhere towards the back left corner. And when you're ready, take an inhale, rise up to crescent lunge. Take a big inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. So that might look like an open twist today, like we did in chair pose. It might look like hands at heart center, left elbow outside of the right knee. What's going to encourage you to go a little bit further, a little bit deeper? Bear into your hands. Or twist a little bit more from your waist. Take another inhale. If you've got your hands together in prayer, maybe you open them up right now. Expand from the inside out, right? Take your top shoulder back and your bottom shoulder forward. And then expand into warrior two. And reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. Everybody press your right knee right now in this moment. Press your right knee out towards your pinky toe. I see some knees that are wanting to come in a little bit. Good. Persevere with that breath. Keep that pumping. Pull back with your top shoulder. Again, find some space in your chest cavity. Find some space in your back, your mid-back. And then stay here or go into birds of paradise or your bind. Great, Nicole. Yeah, if you've got a towel or a strap you want to use to enable you, or not enable you, but get you deeper, then go into that. Always use what you've got. Be where you are, do exactly what you can. Maybe do more than you think you can. Beautiful, Kay. Okay, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take your left leg up into the air. Bend your knee, open up your hip. And press your left heel over. Maybe you just press it over so hard that your left hand starts to come off the ground and you just end up flipping that dog. But go gently. Or go softly. Notice if it's your MO, your normal mode to just kind of rush into things. Because then the question becomes, what's the rush? Right? Like, what are we avoiding? And what is it that needs to be known? Take a deep breath, take one more reach, and then listen. And inhale with your hips up. Exhale back into plank. And then again, let's move slow. So take your left foot up by your right hand. And we're either gonna stay right here on this plank or we're gonna move into fallen triangle. So the left hand's gonna bear all the weight, kind of sharing responsibility here with the knife edge of the feet. And then we're gonna lift the right arm up. So press up with your hips. Maybe even see if you can catch your left big toe with your right peace fingers. Maybe lift that foot up off the floor. Take another breath. And then step your left foot up to your left hand. Low lunge. Set your feet up. Lift your arms. High lunge. And take a big breath in. Fill up with air. Bring your hands to heart center. And then open or close twist. If you're in that open twist, you have a unique opportunity here because you're really able to lift your chest and feel what that feels like to be upright in a twist. So just try to pull that left shoulder open. Take one more inhale. And whatever kind of twist you're in, pull back with your left shoulder, press forward with your right one. And then warrior two, glide into warrior two. Make this a nice seamless transition. Take a breath in, reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. And as always, let's start with foundation. So plug your feet into your mat, earth yourself right now. And then push your left knee out towards your pinky toe. It's one of those poses that goes against the rule, draw everything into your center line, right? Take a breath. Yeah, go for your fullest expression here, whatever that looks like right now. It may not be the same expression that you took yesterday. That's okay. Work with what you've got in the moment and stay present. Breathe. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga, upward facing. Downward facing dog. And look between your hands, hopper step forward. Halfway lift, fold, rise into your chair pose. Take your hands to heart center, twist to the right. Good, breathe. And press really hard into your hands. Look up over your top shoulder. Come all the way back up. Chair pose, good. Bring your hands back to heart center, twist to the left. So line your knees up. Everything is squeezing in towards your midline, skin, muscle, bone. Take another inhale, rise back up to chair, and then take your right leg over your left leg and your right arm under your left arm, eagle pose. Again, the directive here is to hug in everything, skin, muscle, bone. Draw your navel in towards your spine. Take a big breath. Exhale a big sigh, release. And we'll take Ragdoll after our second eagle. So let's go ahead and just shake it out for now. Good job. Now wrap your left leg over your right and your left arm under your right. Anyone notice their hips are like different and that they can't wrap their leg around as far on one side? Yeah, for me, that's my left side. I've never been able to get my left leg to go like all the way around. It just seems like it's stuck at a certain point. And so that always leads me to the question when I'm thinking about that, I'm like, well, where are you stuck? Release. Take a ragdoll. And I believe that when we're stuck, it's because we feel safer that way. You know, there's something in the way, there's something blocking us. And that something is us. That something is me. And it's a real skill to be able to sit with yourself long enough to figure out the answer to that question. That's what I'm working on in my 40 days program right now. It's my meditation practice. I invite you guys unofficially to join me, and you can start right now. Start to cultivate your own silence. Anytime you have a chance, 5 seconds is enough for a nice calming breath in and a nice exhale back out. Take your feet together. Take an inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, back to Chaturanga. Upward dog to downward dog. Right side warrior one. Move into warrior two. That half moon. So you're just gonna kind of lunge off that back foot. And drop your right hand onto the ground, maybe a block, maybe a prop, anything you've got at home will work. Anything that's gonna bring the ground up to you. Yeah, get fancy with this. Go into Chapasana if you want to. See if you can reach around and grab your top leg. Sometimes it happens that we can already do these things and we just don't realize it's available because we haven't tried yet. Yeah, bend that knee, see what happens. Yes, Matt, go for it. Breathe in, lift up. There you go, Kaylee. Okay, release. Go to Ragdoll for a second. Or you know what, do goddess pose, whatever's gonna feel good to you right now. Take a Ragdoll, take a goddess. Yeah, if you wanna sit on your block, that's a great option. Just let your hips open. And your body relax. Take your feet back together. Halfway lift, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. That left side, warrior one. Warrior two. Half moon. Straight into that half moon. Oh, it was so graceful, Monica. Yeah, beautiful. Everybody lift your chest, draw into the center line, and then reach around. See what's there for you. See about that back leg. What's going on with it? Give it a check-in. Breathe. And then reset, and then get back up there if you fell. Go to Ragdoll. Notice what's going on with your internal dialogue right now. It always seems to be the balance poses and the poses that require the most strength that have me doubting myself the most. And when I get judgy with myself, I just have to keep remembering that this isn't me. This is just the way that I was programmed to react. And anytime I choose, which is anytime at all, I can circumvent that problem entirely. We all have that power. It's all in us. So if right now you are being unkind to yourself, I ask that you take a step back, take a breath in, and then just release any negativity right now, any negative self-talk. Maybe give yourself a nice affirmation. And then step your feet together. Let's go for crow. Challenge pose of the day. Everybody bring your knees onto the backs of your forearms, spread your fingers out, and then rock forward. Great, and then Amanda took this into headstand. If you guys want to go there, go there. You can take this into crane. You can take it into chaturanga. If something's beckoning to you, answer the call. Nice, Sam. Nice, Monica. All right, I see Nicole going up. I see Gloria going up. Kay's going for round 2. Everybody, if you're not in crow yet, and you already finished with your crow, do it one more time. We got nothing but time. Nice, Sam. Yeah, maybe go from headstand back into crow, and then chaturanga. Good, and now we'll all meet up in our downward facing dog. Come into plank. Take your right leg off the ground. Cross your right leg over your left ankle. Good, we're in plank, Sam. There you go. All right, lower down to low plank. Good, come back up to plank. Downward facing dog, uncross your legs, and come back to plank. This time, take your left ankle, cross it over the right. Go into low plank. Take a breath in, come back up to plank. Downward facing dog, uncross your feet. So we're gonna kind of do a little bit harder variation of that. So come back into plank. Lift your right leg up. This time, just get it off the ground. Good, lower down, low plank. High plank. Good, downward facing dog. If you need to this time, come onto your right knee as you do this. So lift your left leg up and come into plank. If you need to be on your right knee right now, go there. If you don't, lower down to low push up. Take a breath in, high push up. Yes, you guys are so strong. Downward facing dog. And stay with it. One more time, you can do this. Take your right leg up into the air. Same side again, good. Come into plank. Lower down. Upward dog. Downward facing dog. Good, if you wanna add an extra challenge, keep the foot off the ground the whole time this time, even when you're in up dog. Lift your left leg into the air. High plank. Low plank. Keep that foot up off the ground. Up dog. Good, downward facing dog. All right, come onto your belly. You can scoop down, you can bring your knees down for tabletop and then scoop through, knees, chest, chin, however you wanna get there. You could just plop right down if you want to. A couple seconds ago, I noticed that all of you guys had moved around. From the beginning of class, none of these boxes are in the same place as they were. And I was getting confused. I was like, who is this? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because like I'm getting used to this. Like change is my life now, as it is for so many of our lives. And it's such a good thing if we just kind of let ourselves get swept up in the current and taken away with it, and we don't fight it, and we're not trying to swim upstream. Like life becomes relatively simple. A joy even. At any moment, I can choose to react by thinking that I'm a victim of circumstance, that they, whoever they are, did this to me. And there's so many other thoughts I could choose from, but I'm choosing to think the ones that are going to benefit me. Right? Choose the thoughts that love you back right now, whatever they are. Breathe in 2 more breaths. Give yourself a positive affirmation right here. And use your name in there. It's powerful. Let's go into locust. So everyone take your arms behind you, reach for the back of the room, and then let's set up by zipping up the backs of our legs. So bring your legs together as closely as you can. They're not gonna stay stuck together magically when you come up, but we're just using that as a guideline. Everyone take a big inhale and then lift your chest off the floor, lift your feet off the floor, squeeze in from skin to muscle to bone, and release. Go back down to the ground. If it feels good, take your knees from side to side. Come back up, round 2, locust. Everything moves off the ground and squeeze in. If you guys want to take a bind, lace your fingers together. It's gonna remind you to draw your shoulders back, lift your chest up, and then release. Take a breath in. Upward facing dog. Good. Take a breath right here. And let it out. And then come into downward facing dog. Drop your knees onto the mat. Here's one I haven't taught in a while. Let's go into camel. I don't know why, but I sort of like instinctively avoid this pose. I'm becoming very aware of my avoidance patterns now lately. What are you guys trying to avoid? Is it certain people? Certain situations? And then how can you come into acceptance around that, whatever it is? Take another breath right here. Let yourself open up as you go back. And then release. Hips to heels, hero's pose. And if you want to take this back a little bit further, you can recline here by taking your hands behind you and just kind of leaning back a little bit. The action that's happening in camel pose is the hip points are pressing forward as the chest drives back. So there's 2 different people driving the car here, or riding the camel. You got one moving forward and one moving back, and that action is where we get the length from. So right now we're trying to stretch out these muscles here so that we can make a deeper camel this time. All right, are we ready? Come back up. Let's do a second camel. Go back. Maybe start with your arms up if you want to find some more length. Press your chest forward again. Drive your hip points. Oh, I messed up. I'm sorry. Drive your hip points forward. Drive your chest back. Pull your shoulders back. Downward facing dog. Come onto your backs. Let's set up for bridge or set up for wheel. And just because wheel's in your practice doesn't mean you have to start there. Assess your back right now. How warm are you feeling? Are you getting the green light? And if yes, get right up into it. Don't wait, just go. Everybody lift up into your back bend, whether it's bridge, wheel. And release. Good. Move your hips side to side, move your knees side to side. Fill up with air, get back up there, bridge or wheel. Yes, up we go. There you go, Monica. Everybody lift. And squeeze your inner thighs together. If your knees have a tendency to bow out, we want to strengthen those inner thighs. So pull it in and then let go. Good. Move your knees side to side. Come back up. Bridge your wheel. Everybody move into your center line. And release. Take your knee side to side. This time I want to invite you guys to grab a prop. I don't care what it is. It will not matter. Literally, it could be a sheet of paper. That's going to be making it a little harder on yourselves because what you're going to do with this prop is put it between your knees and squeeze it there the whole time you're in your bridge or wheel. Sam, you could use your wheel. So you guys could use a sock. It doesn't matter. Just grab something, anything. Yeah, your block, whatever it is that you've got. And let's all get back up. Let's see how tight to the center line we can hug in. And everybody lift. 3 breaths right here. Skin, muscle, bone. Nice, Matt. Even though you don't have anything, I can totally see you doing the work. And release. Take your knees side to side. Take a big breath in. Exhale, side out, Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring your knees onto your chest. Take a couple of back rolls, 3 or 4, just to roll out your spine. Picture your spine like being dough, and then you're just getting all the air pockets out of it by rocking back and forth. Let yourself be massaged. And then go into happy baby. Catch your feet with your hands, pull your knees down. Bring your knees back onto your chest, rock and roll. 3 or 4 more times. Downward facing dog. Let's take your right leg up into the air. Bend your knee, open your hip, give yourself a nice little prep for your half pigeon. And now we're going to square our hips. So bring your right knee up to your right wrist. And then scoot your left leg back. Press that left leg back as far as you can. So, and in this way, we're not necessarily just opening up the right hip, we're opening up the left hip flexor too. The further back you scoot that knee, the more you're going to open up the back leg. And this is kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's a horrible expression, actually. One of the girls I work with found a bird outside of one of our studios, and he wasn't like, he wouldn't fly away, just kind of sitting there. And she basically like rescued him and took him home in a box. There's really no point to that story. I just wanted to tell you guys that because I thought it was kind of cool. Yeah, this little bird got rescued, and I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be okay. Just sometimes I like to hear stories about like humanity, about, you know, like that. Just, it's uplifting. So there you go. Guys, just keep breathing. Keep relaxing further and further into your form, into the independent structures that are holding you in this position. And when you meet that tension, just kind of be willing to introduce yourself and befriend that. There's no need to run away from it. Five more breaths. Downward facing dog. Take your left leg up into the air. Let this knee bend, let that hip open. And then send your left knee up towards your left wrist for half pigeon on this side. Scoot the right hip back. Walk your fingers forward if you're on your forearms, if you can. Instead of trying to control your thoughts right now and police them like so often we do, how about we just observe? A lot of times when I observe, I'll notice something very interesting going on in my head. I'll notice that there's a parent up there and there's a child up there. And a lot of times they're at war with each other. The parent is always scolding the child is wounded, the child gets upset, and then starts getting defensive, and it's like, it's a back and forth, it's a tug of war. And I've been able to really diffuse some of that tension between the two of them with meditation and just like being aware of what's happening. I know, honestly, I just think it's kind of funny. It's like, I witnessed myself parenting myself the way that my parents parented me. But I always have the choice to step out of that, guys. And you can step out of that too. I bet if you start paying attention, you'll notice that you treat yourself the way that the other people in your life have always treated you. Because that child doesn't know any better. We can parent ourselves in a really positive way, like every second. We can help take ourselves out of fear, out of loneliness, out of despair and confusion. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then make your way back into down dog. And then we'll come onto our backs. We'll meet up on our back sides. Let's take a block underneath our hips and go straight into our inversion. If you don't want that, you can go into headstand, or you can take a handstand on the wall. What do you have left right now? Is there any energy left that you need to channel? Is there a rest that needs to be had? Maybe legs up the wall. If it feels good right now and you're in waterfall or shoulder stand, maybe begin to take your feet up over your head, lengthening your spine, pressing your feet to the back of the room. And then release all the way out of this. Bring your knees onto your chest. And then move your knees over to the right side of your mat. You can have your arms out to the sides if that helps with the stability. And then come back up. Just gonna move our knees to the other side. And then come back up, go to the other side. Just do this a couple of times, just gently and slowly. Just letting the back open up. Kind of rinsing the spine out like a sponge. Releasing any final tension so that we can soften into our Savasana. Good, and now the moment of final tension. So bring everything in, hug in skin to muscle to bone. Yeah, drop your forehead towards your knees, curl your toes, take a deep breath in. Exhale, find your rest pose. Into your Savasana. Let yourself be limp and heavy as you rest. Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose. And then hold it right here at the top. Let's let this be a life-giving breath, a breath that wakes you up. Then slowly let it out. And then gradually bring some small movements to the extremities of your body. First the fingers and toes, and then the wrists and the ankles. And then draw your knees onto your chest. And then roll onto your right side. With your eyes closed, make your way up to your seat. We'll bring our hands together in prayer at Heart Center. And together we'll close class with one big Om. Draw your thumb knuckles together at forehead center. Together we bow to each other. Together we bow to ourselves. Namaste. Happy almost end to the week, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me here for class today. It's really good to see all of you guys. Thank you for the sound check assist. Appreciate that. If any of you guys have any questions, I'll linger for a minute. But thank you guys. Yeah, we had a good turnout today. It's pretty good for a 9:15 class. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye, Monica. Bye, Kay, Sam, Amanda, Ann, Matt, Kaylee, Gloria, Nicole. Bye, you guys. I hope to see you next week.
It was great.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye.